All right, so first of all, thanks so much for having us here, Teresa. It's really a pleasure.
Thank you, William. And look, thank you very much for interviewing me today.
No worries. It's our pleasure. So what I wanted to start off with was, where did you actually go to school personally?
Yeah. Look, I grew up just south of the border in the Tweed, so I went to Ukai Primary School, a very small school that only had 3 teachers.
Wow.
And then I went to Bundamba High School, which had about 1,000 kids. Yeah. And my husband went to school here in Ipswich. He went to Brassel State School.
Tell me more about your high school.
I guess it was a mix of rural kids and, it was a real country school. Some of the teachers there also taught my dad when he went there.
Did you say it had about 1,000 kids?
Yeah.
That's about the same as Bundamba.
Yeah.
And how did you find it?
I love school. I love learning. So I loved learning, but also the different sports, friends. Catching the bus in the morning and the afternoon was very social. I guess before I went to high school from 1981 to 1986, so it's very different when it comes to technology. I was very involved with technology when I was young as well, so it's great to see how that's progressed.
Yeah. And what were your electives during high school?
So in year 11 and 12, my electives were obviously English and maths, but also biology was my science, and I was a massive fan of history, so I did 3 unit ancient history, but also 2 unit modern history, so I'm full on, I love history.
So English, math, biology, modern and ancient history.
Correct.
And how do you find them?
I loved it because I loved learning about people and how people lived and what they did and how things work. I always find that really interesting.
Yeah. What would you say was your favourite subject during school?
History.
History, yeah.
History.
Same, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So where would you say that led to after graduation? Did you go straight to uni or?
No. I grew up in a very small country town and certainly very much my parents frowned upon me going to university. I joined the army.
Wow.
So when I left, I joined the Royal Military College at Duntroon. I was in the third intake of women there, so women had only been there for 12 months.
Wow.
So that was a real education. So moving from a very small country town, moving to Canberra, so a city, with a nightlife and having money and friends and just a job I was really passionate about. I'm very grateful for the fact that I received, I think, exceptional leadership training. The Royal Military College Duntroon is well known for producing leaders, and that is something that stood that test of time even to today. The importance of knowing who you are, knowing what duty is, what it is to serve your country, but also serving your community, but also having integrity and knowing the difference between right and wrong.
Wow, that's really interesting. So what did you join the army to do initially?
Yeah, I wanted to go to Signals Corps. I loved technology as well.
Right.
But after I left the army, I went to TAFE for 2 years and did a diploma in fashion manufacturing. So I really loved doing that. And I've really got involved with the technology side, computer-aided design and manufacturing technology, which was great. And it was very much an emerging area as well. And so I'm very much involved in the IT industry for many, many years. And then after 9/11, I joined Defence again as a civilian and worked in the IT areas.
Right. Was that in the reserves or?
No, as a civilian.
Oh, okay.
I went back to Canberra, and then also was posted up here to Amberley, where I looked after the maintenance of the F-111 fleet.
Gotcha. Sorry, excuse my stupid question.
No, it's not a stupid question.
So
what I say is my career hasn't been linear, and that's what I'd say to the students. Don't leave school thinking I have to do this. I've been on an amazing journey from small country town, army, working with major designers in the fashion industry, working in IT, coming back to defence. I ended up having a go at flying the F-111 once. I've had so much opportunity, and now to be the Mayor of Ipswich, I think just knowing the fact that life is exciting, it's wonderful, has lots of opportunities, and go with the flow. Yeah.
Right. So would you say that? So initially joining, what division was it in initially?
So in the army.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Royal Military College at Duntroon.
Yeah. So what? Do you know what specific course? I don't know that much about it. Sorry, but do you know what specifically the sort of degree or the course that you did in your time there? So
I did the non-degree course. So when I was 33, I was a single mum with a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old and working full-time, and I decided to go back to uni or go to university. And that was I think, a really good thing for me professionally. I learnt a lot. I was ready to go to university as well. I was really willing to learn. I really wanted to boost my career along. I found that, I wasn't getting to certain management roles because I didn't have a degree. So I did a master's in management, and that certainly propelled my career.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and before becoming mayor, I was managing the fleet of the F-111, so I had about 100 staff, about 950 contractors, and an annual budget of $150 million that I managed. And after that, I then led the open data program for the Queensland government across the state.
Wow.
So certainly going back to uni, combined with my on-the-job experience and the learnings I'd had as a supervisor and as a manager, really helped me when I was taking that next step. And certainly it's really helped me in my role now as mayor. Yeah.
Cool. So a bit of everything, really.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I want to ask and go back a bit to when you spoke about your career, so your training in the military and what you did with your degree. Was it a master's in management and leadership?
It was a master's in management in defence studies.
Yeah, gotcha. And was it like the bachelor of the same name or same thing? Or
I was given the opportunity in defence when I was working in Canberra to do some subjects towards a master's. I didn't have an undergraduate degree, so it's a little bit unusual that I have a master's. And then I was able to, after I finished that course, to do additional subjects and get a master's.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and look, I think it's my father. I always hear him say, the harder you work, the luckier you are. And so I had a strong routine for quite a few years where I worked full time, had 2 young kids, and then from 7:30 at night when the kids went to bed till 9:30 at night, every Monday to Thursday I would study and do my work. And so I'd have the weekends free to be with the kids. But I just had that discipline for many years, from Monday to Thursday during semester time, to put the work in, and I was rewarded with good marks in my masters.
That's great. So that's really interesting. I never knew before this that you could actually get a master's degree without an undergraduate.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I didn't know either until I did.
Yeah. Wow. And there's another saying as well, that luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity.
Yeah.
So there you go.
It's absolutely true. Everyone in life will have tough times. Everyone in life will have things when things don't go their way. And it's frustrating when you see bad things happen to good people and good things happen to bad people. I guess my advice would be is play it with a straight bat. When things are tough, keep doing the right thing. Keep working hard and doing the right thing, and things will turn out in the end. It can be tough, but that's life. Things aren't handed to you on a platter. You need to work for it.
That's great advice. Might be worth noting. So, in that case then, after you completed your masters, where did that lead to? Was that when you joined back as a civilian and worked in a military role there, or what did you do directly after that? Yeah,
so I rejoined the Department of Defence as a civilian, as a public servant in Canberra in 2002. And then in 2004 I had the opportunity to start my masters. And when I was completing that, then I had the job offer to move up here, back to Queensland, where my family are, which was wonderful, and got a job out at RAF Base Amberley, which is wonderful. And, we settled here with the 2 kids. I arrived here as a single mum with 2 young kids.
Right.
And Ipswich has been the most amazing city. I'm going to cry now. I get a bit emotional over this. But it's been an amazing city of opportunities. I've lived in Sydney, I've lived in country towns, I've lived in Canberra, and Ipswich is the place to be. You've got that great mix of community, but you're still close enough to the city to have city things. We've got great schools here, we've got great hospitals, and and here you know your neighbours, which is always really nice. You don't get that in the cities whatsoever. You feel very isolated. And I just look at the fact that Ipswich has been a terrific place for me to work, to have friendships. Met my husband. We've been able to raise our 3 kids here, and it's been really terrific. And I think we're really lucky. Sometimes we don't appreciate our hometown until we leave it, but Ipswich is a wonderful place to be raised and to grow up and to live.
I reckon. So in your running for mayor, just a little over 12 months ago now, isn't it? I can only imagine that so much leadership training would really come in handy. Would you say that there have been any particular situations where, as a leader, that's your experience in the past has really been useful for you, or that you've really been able to maybe even as a mayor, been able to develop and use your previous experience?
As a leader, I've learnt you're only as good as your team. So it's really important to have really good people. I have to check with the councillors. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. That's a real problem if that's the 100%. Case. You're only as good as the people around you. And my job as a leader is to motivate them to be the best that they can be and give them the resources. So certainly before I put my hand up to run for mayor, I spoke to lots of people that I respect and who are very passionate about Ipswich, successful business people, people in community, people who are doing it tough. As well, and just spoke to them about what they would like to see in Ipswich, and that formed that basis. So I think just know that you have to be organised and good with budgeting, good at communicating. They're all basic things that you need as a leader, and they certainly help any candidate, no matter what level they run for.
Would you have... I'll just wrap it up with one last question, really quick. If you were to give a piece of advice, or would you have a piece of advice in mind to give to students today?
Have fun, work hard and have fun. Don't get so wrapped up about what am I going to do with my life. I think work hard, do as well as you can with your subjects. Your education is always an opportunity. It will never be a burden. You'll never have learnt too much. So follow your passions, but also work hard. Things aren't going to be handed to you on a platter, and you will have to work hard to achieve your goals. But boy, it's worth the journey. You're at the beginning of your life. I'm very envious of you. Life is a wonderful journey, and work hard and enjoy it.
That's great advice. Awesome. Thank you so much for having us, Teresa.
Thank you.
On behalf of myself, my crew, and Bundamba as well.
Thanks, Bundamba crew.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.